They were getting to Garoppolo a little bit. He threw a couple balls in the dirt, and they brought the pressure on the big third down that ended up being a touchdown. And Lakota really had, it was good coverage. They just had around maybe one of the ball. And I think that was you hear the play.
Turn left onto
Meredith Avenue,
pressure. Then turn right onto
Quarterback can't
Union Lake
hold the
Road.
ball forever. He's not going to be able to scramble around and extend the play. So, okay, when this receiver's running 15, 20 yards downfield, that ball's probably coming out. Turn around and make a play. It's just the simple things of knowing the defense and knowing when there's times you can take a chance because, okay, we've got slot pressure here. They haven't picked it up all day. Boom, it's going to be
turn
quick
left
threat.
onto Flagstaff Street.
There's situations
Then turn
like that,
right
and that
onto
happened
Union
again
Lake Road.
later in the game with a veteran, Jamie Collins. I mean, they've got him dropping over the middle of the field, and it was they brought 7-man pressure, and Jamie Collins just wasn't even looking at the quarterback. He was just kind of in no man's land, and by the time he turned around to look at the quarterback, the ball was over his head, and it was like a 20-yard gain. So it's just the little things like that
At
are
the stop
frustrating
sign,
because
turn right onto
it's
Union
just
Lake
so
Road.
easily fixable, right? And John, I heard you talking about it earlier, just the anticipation and reading the guy's body language. Okay, I've never played DB before, but usually when the guys kind of stop or slow down and their eyes go up, that usually means the ball's in the air, especially when it's 3 or 4 seconds into the play.
But for us, all right, and especially looking on TV, that seems obvious. And you just mentioned something I thought that was real important, that, when you hear the play call and you know what is happening up front, as a defensive back, that should trigger something in your mind. But at game speed and in that situation, it doesn't
In
always.
3/4 of a mile, turn left onto Willow Road.
So that when you heard the play call, you weren't going up there, okay, it's 24, I gotta step my right foot, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But you were able to, that became second nature, and now you were able to look at, okay, where is that linebacker in relation to my defensive tackle, in relation to the safety, in relation to the corners, and when did it slow down for you?
It took me a couple of years. I mean, just playing offensive line is just so, there's just so much that goes on, especially on the interior. Okay, I got the 3 tech, I got the D tackle over to my left, I got these linebackers, okay, the safety, the two tackles. I mean, no offense, John, you guys just have to block the defensive
At the
line.
light, turn left onto Willow Road.
Yeah, says the guy with sideboards. That guy's going to rush outside. We'll give him the tackle. He's going to rush inside. Oh, the center will take that. I'm just going to stand here and look good.
He runs Strahan, Reggie White, Bruce Smith.
Come on, man.
You didn't get blindsided a whole lot. I can count the amount of times I took a shot from the ear hole from my left when I'm blocking on my right. It's like,
Hey, my friend.
Going back to your question, I mean, it takes a while.
It takes
a while because, especially like NFL defenses, they're so intriguing and there's so many options what they can do. And as soon as you get caught up in, okay, all I got to do is block this guy, then it's like, okay, you're not reading the defense. You're not seeing through the defense. And it took me probably until, I became a full-time starter in year 3. It probably took me till at least year 4, if not year 5, to say, get to the line of scrimmage. Okay, the linebackers lined up in the A-gap to bring pressure here. Okay, the safety's rolled down. Yep, this guy's slanting inside. Okay, everything slows down. But that also comes with experience. It comes with extensive film study. I mean, just knowing tendencies. But that's something that is so important to a young player. When you get to the line and you know the play call and you see what the other team, whether it's offense or defense, what formation they're lined up in, they have different tendencies. I mean, it's a lot you have to remember. But if you know what the other guy's doing, before the ball's even snapped, I mean, your chance of success is 99%, right? And that was something that I always tried to pride myself in, is knowing exactly what the defense is going to do before the ball is hit. And it takes a while. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of study. But when you get to that level, like you said, it slows the game down completely.
Our telephone number 248-539-9797, 97-1 the ticket.
Breaking news on 97.1 The Ticket, powered by Odyssey and presented by BetQL. Become a better sports bettor. Get smarter to beat the books. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines.
27 in overtime. Deshaun Jackson's second fumble of the game set up Derek Carr's game-winning touchdown pass in the extra session. The 0-1 Lions had lost quarterback Jeff Okuda for the season with a ruptured Achilles. Suffered in Sunday's loss to San Francisco. Lions have also placed wide receiver Terrell Williams in concussion protocol. Lions in Green Bay next Monday night against a Packer team, though just embarrassed by the Saints. Packers still favored by 11. Tigers started a 2-game series at home tonight against the Brewers. 7-10 the first pitch from Comerica Park. Right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Brewers have a 2-touchdown lead in the National League Central. They're 89-55. Tigers now 68-76 after taking 2 or 3 against Tampa Bay over the weekend. Willie Peralta pitching for Detroit. Both the Spartans and Wolverines are 2-0. Michigan hosting Northern Illinois Saturday. They're favored by 27. MSU a 6-point underdog in Miami. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chet Lesson. For more, 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning. 97.1 The Ticket, the Stoney and Jansen program on a Tuesday. Greg Hargrave running the show. The Gov is here. We love Tuesdays and Thursdays because Heather actually comes into the studio. We get to see her in person. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Good.
Thanks.
John, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. It's just one day closer to the next football weekend. we got what, 2 sleeps until we get to Thursday night football. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Thursday night football. It's your former team.
the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Yes, minus Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks, but everybody loves Heineke. He's got that kind of cult
Who
following.
doesn't like a Heineke?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Especially on a Thursday night.
No doubt about it. 248-539-9797 is the telephone number. Speaking of football, a pretty interesting game last night. It ended up being pretty damn exciting as the Las Vegas Raiders, the first game in Allegiant Stadium that they played where they actually had Raider fans in them. Obviously, last year the stadium opened, but no fans, so it was kind of like an opening day for them. And I was watching a little preview. They have these, I don't know, I wouldn't call them streets, but on the field level, like sofas and things. That's what they were doing the pregame show. Cheerleaders down there. It was, I can imagine what those games cost in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
They get probably comped by the casinos for all the people who spend $1 million a year and stuff on gambling.
It's a very cool setup.
Yes.
And did you notice though last night? That was the first Monday night in 6 or 7 years when we didn't have two Monday night games.
They did it last year. I didn't remember.
Yeah, I think they did it. They did what was it, the 7 o'clock start,
Yeah.
followed by a little bit delayed in the second game, and kind of disappointed I missed it. Obviously, I'm the only one.
No, because it was hard enough staying up for the game that started at 8:20, let alone if there was going to be another game starting at 9.
I was never a big fan of it.
Oh, you didn't like the doubleheader on Monday night?
I mean, with this job and these hours.
No.
Yeah, but that's why I like the doubleheader, because the second one I can watch the highlights in the morning, but the first one I get to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it was always a lesser rate game. It was always a stupid broadcast crew that everybody complained about. It's just like
Mike and Mike or something like that, right? I think they did one game. But yeah, it's no big deal to me. Actually, you mentioned the broadcast. Last night, I'm watching the game, all of a sudden I hear a yell from the living room. What's wrong with our television? I said, what do you mean? He said, listen, he goes, the Bachelor's not on.
That's what I said.
I figured.
I was so disappointed. 8 o'clock, turned on the TV. I'm like, what is this Monday Night Football?
Yes, it was
Stuff is
Now,
football.
hey, Gov, you know better than I do. Is Monday Night Football going to be on ABC every Monday night, simulcast with ESPN?
I didn't have any clue that it even happened until this second.
Okay.
I was watching it on ESPN, and it is what it is.
I don't think that's the case. I think they do that for week 1, and it will be that way for every Lions game. So, Heather, unfortunately, I don't believe the Bachelor's going to be on next Monday either.
Are you serious?
Yes,
what a shame.
just locally the game will be on channel 7.
So did the Bachelor happen, or was it just postponed and we didn't see
I'm
it?
guessing it didn't happen. I didn't do any research. I just turned the TV off and complained for a minute. My husband's like, leave that on. I'm like, no, I'm going to finish my other show, and then you can have your football.
Yeah, I went to bed at halftime. It was like 14-10, and then woke up this morning to find out that the Raiders win 33-27 in overtime. Crazy ending. It was like
Fumbles.
and it looked like the Raiders had scored the winning touchdown in overtime. Then they viewed it, found out the guy stepped out of bounds at like the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
And then 2 plays later, Carr throws it after a
all-out
false
blitz.
start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To push him back,
Yeah.
all-out blitz, interception, and then Baltimore takes over, takes it down, and then Lamar Jackson fumbles the second time in the game. And Vegas won. Vegas, they tied the game with a 55-yard field goal, no gimme. But it was exciting, and of course, more guys get hurt. Tyree Phillips, the starting guard for Baltimore, he got carted off. Baltimore's playing with guys with fumes, running back.
Yeah.
They're still winning games, but they lost last night.
Yeah. Was it Latavius Murray who scored one of those touchdowns?
Yes.
He's only been
less than a week.
Yeah. They're going to have. Hopefully, they don't have any more injuries at that position because they've already lost 3 guys, and it's just you start going down that list, and they still have. Is it Le'Veon Bell still in the practice squad?
Yes.
So they've got a backup to their 4th backup. But
they're here in 2 weeks.
they are. They
See
are.
Lamar Jackson. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it later. As the game approaches. But one of those guys, probably won't come in that many times if he stays in Baltimore. It'll be another 6-7 years or whatever. So yeah, maybe must see TV. By the way,
Hey, next week the Chiefs go to Baltimore.
I know.
And 0-2 and need to get healthy against the Lions.
Yeah,
The schedule, the Packers need to get healthy against the Lions.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Or the Lions can hold on to first place.
Okay, you beat me to it now. By the way,
It was yesterday it was 6:04. Today it's 6:08. I doubled it.
that you did. By the way, both the NFC West and the AFC West undefeated.
Yeah, as you would expect, unless they were to face each other in Week 1, which didn't happen. But those,
I don't know if I expected them to get used to it. They were an underdog actually. It's at home.
well, I mean, I kind of actually did with the injuries that Baltimore's had,
Okay,
the
I get
changes
that.
to their offensive line, and it's just a few other circumstances. So I actually thought that the Raiders were going to win. I just didn't think it was going to have to go into overtime. It was a great game.
Speaking of the broadcast of the event, you had the Eli and Peyton Manning cast on ESPN2, where they're watching the game from 2 different places. Unbelievable, screens and things like that. And they have different guests. They had Ray Lewis, Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
Travis Kelce was on. It was a lot of fun. And Peyton, even Eli kind of subtly was funny. And I don't know, I turned around, I was watching, and out of nowhere, they're telling this story, and I had to go back and try to figure out what he was talking about. Evidently, I think I need to set this up a little bit. In 2012, when Peyton Manning was on his free agent tour, the San Francisco 49ers were interested.
They were courting him.
Right, so they made everybody go to where Manning was, which was in Durham, North Carolina. Cutcliffe, his former coach in college, quarterback, guru, whatever. And one of the teams, watching him, who he had a private tryout for, was the San Francisco 49ers, who was coached by one Jim Harbaugh. Listen to Manning talk about something that happened.
What kind of sandwich did Jim Harbaugh order when the 49ers worked you out back in 2012? Quick story, I watched film with the 49ers. I threw for the 49ers. We're down at Duke at the Cutcliffe House. Me, John Harbaugh's brother Jim, and Greg Norman were leaving. Mrs. Cutcliffe was like, would y'all like something to eat? She really didn't want us. Yeah, just be nice. She was just trying to be nice, right? I'm like, no thanks. Greg Norman's like, no thanks. Coach Cutcliffe's like, no thanks. Jim Harbaugh's like, yeah, I'll have a PB&J. I think a PB&J. All right, well, PB&J? She's like, I haven't made one of those since my kids were 8. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'll take a PB&J. Anyway, Greg Norman's like, what kind of sandwich did Harbaugh order? I said, PB&J. He's like, this is you.
He went on to explain he's been keeping the story hidden for 9 years. That's so Harbaugh.
Yes. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Hey, she offered. You gotta read the room.
Well, we'll talk more about McNamara at 6:35. Hey, Dan Campbell joins us at 7:35. He does every Tuesday. Speaking of the Lions, it was expected, but it sucks. Jeff Okudah out for the season with the Achilles. And in that position, there's a history of guys who've gotten that injury and have never really recovered. I mean, I'm sure there are others who have. Dean Miller, we mentioned yesterday, Sidney Jones, Brian Westbrook. I mean, if you're a long-time Lion fan, Lions took him, I think, 5th overall, and he got off to a slow start, if I remember correctly, similar to Okudah. He was bad early, and then all of a sudden he became a pretty good player in like year 3 or 4, and he tore his Achilles and he was done, basically.
Yeah, there have been many medical advances since then. I did mine, and obviously we're talking about two completely different styles of playing, but yeah, shocker. But even at that time, it used to be that it was an absolute career ender. And so when I tore mine, that was what in my mind. And then I talked to my doctor, and he said, "Hey, it's not that way anymore." And they have, and that this is what, 12, 13, 14 years ago now. And I can only imagine, and I'm actually hoping to talk to a doctor later because I do want to know what has changed in the last decade in regards to Jeff Okudah, or just an Achilles injury, not necessarily talking about Jeff Okudah, for somebody that is an absolute fast twitch type of guy, and how they can recover, what's different in the repairs that they do, because it doesn't need to be. And we've talked a little bit about him moving or changing positions because he struggled at that corner position, to say the least.
So far, yes.
And, is this the push, the final push to make him, a safety? And it's not that those guys are any slower, but it's different than it is being a corner. So, who knows?
We'll ask Dan Campbell about the possibilities of moving into safety next year. All right, 248-539-9797, the telephone number, and the text. Heather has news coming up next.
I do. I've got a new couple alert to tell you guys about, and it's a couple that is pretty unexpected, I think, and rather shocking.
Any hints?
No.
No, you're doing the tease.
Good tease. Maybe something like, I don't know, Pat Caputo and Eva Longoria. I don't know. 97
That would be
London
shocking.
Yes. Hey, I want to tell you about my bank. And if you're looking for one, and you're looking for one that you can trust, I hope that you trust me enough to give them a shot. That's Level 1 Bank. I'm a satisfied customer. I've been with them for a number of years right now. They handle all my financial needs for me and my family. That includes my checking, my savings, but more importantly, my mortgage. And if you're shopping around for a mortgage right now, reach out to my friends over at Level 1 Bank. They've got a team of experienced mortgage professionals who are personable and committed to serving you throughout the entire mortgage process. Any question you have, they will answer. They will find the answer.